Welcome back to the LCS. I'm Jatt here with Emily and Raz to take you into Game 2 and cover Champ Select. And that was a game, you two.
Yeah.
How did it feel being a part of it, Jatt?
I mean, a little what is this? A little
That's Kitty.
disappointed.
Yeah, that's great, actually. I saw that tweet with all the spears and impact.
And he's still good. I don't think he died after that, which is...
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah, I think he got out.
Six man. Oh, no. Yeah, you could say that.
Those bot dives were unfortunate. I think TL initiating the lane swap, when you do a swap like this, you definitely hope that you come away with a higher XP advantage. And Impact came out with a much higher XP advantage.
Honestly, during the coach interview, when they said that Dignitas was an 8, you know, in terms of how different they were since the last time we saw them, he didn't say what direction. And so it was, yes, the one failed dive that didn't result into a kill, and then the second try at it into them getting double kill bot lane. The Tristana that ended up getting killed mid lane in a 1v1 versus the Casio, and of course, like, top side wasn't any good either. Team Liquid is actually getting all of their plays off successfully, so we just need to see a completely different game from Dignitas.
Yeah, and the Casio pick was really cool to see from APA. Obviously, it's another APA special. You guys thought it was just the Ziggs and then the Asol and then the Trist and the Corki. Well, Casio is actually his 5th most played career, and going into that game, he had a 62% win rate on it.
And I'll also say, just looking at the player cams here, Dignitas is trying to keep it light. They know what a disaster that game was. It doesn't look like anyone is necessarily tilted, because they all had their moments.
They did.
Every single one of them had their boneheaded moments in that game, so it's good that they're just kind of moving past this. And I also don't think it was a draft problem.
Yeah.
So they've selected the exact same side that they had in Game 1. They've opted for the same first 3 bans. I think they will pivot later in the draft, specifically around where that Cassiopeia comes out. Maybe they'll ban it in 4-5, but the Tristana, they think, was actually fine. They're just willing to pick that again in Game 2.
Yeah, and coming over on the TL side, they are the ones actually taking Ezreal off the table instead of locking it in.
Is this a surprise to you guys that after the heavy nerfs on Tristana that we're still seeing like a heavy presence on it?
A little bit in this game, I would say, because the win rate is not inconsequential. I think you can adjust, though, and possibly manage your mana a bit better. We're going to have to see more of it. I'm not surprised that we're still seeing it.
Yeah.
I don't expect to see it first pick the whole week, though.
Yeah, I think I'm also not super surprised to see it, especially like Ivern Trist is something that obviously we kept seeing a lot of on 14-13 pre-Trist nerfs.
Yeah.
And I think teams feel really, and again, this is sometimes an indictment of teams, they're a little bit slower and they maybe feel like the nerfs on Trist aren't nearly as bad to warrant not still playing it when they're really, really used to playing around that champion.
Yeah. And I assumed coming out of that last game, who had played a little normally, that the Leona pick that we saw last game, still seeing it this game, would have some difficulty because you're playing up against double AD carry, Tristana, Kalista with Braum and Ivern. So like that kind of composition, I do think Dig should feel pretty confident about it. Of course, these are the nerfs that we were talking about in 14-14. Yes, the base HP nerfs on Corki, but remember in the previous patches, he was getting hit pretty hard. So he's been getting nerfed quite a bit, but still, of course, prevalent enough to be getting banned on red side consistently.
And Jatt, you mentioned how you thought Dig did not feel like it was a draft problem. Very obviously locking in the exact 3 same picks on blue side as well with the Trist, Ivern, and the Braum, which Braum actually ended up doing quite a lot of work in some of those mid-game team fights where they were almost going even with TL.
Yeah. The Ziggs ban was something that got banned from APA in that first game, so he just throws it in early on here. So that is going to be the first big pivot we see. TL has a different mid laner and will have a different AD carry as well because they're themselves banned out Ezreal. But I completely agree with you, Emily. Even 5,000-6,000 gold down, when there was a structured fight, Dignitas was feeling pretty good about that. So totally fine with them running it back in terms of the champions so far.
What I'm going to be interested in is, we also saw changes that we didn't get to talk about because there were so many changes within the patch, was the Aphelios changes.
Yep.
Sure.
So, of course, best Aphelios player in the league has to be Yeon. And also, someone that you've mentioned regularly, Emily, in being able to play the Ziggs is Yeon. So with how many AD carry bans we are currently seeing, feels like you're going to have to go into the bag a bit.
You think they're going to flex the Ziggs bot?
They might flex the Ziggs, especially with the ban on Caitlyn.
Okay.
I think that's a possibility. And if he doesn't go towards it, they can just 4-pick Aphelios and be pretty confident about it.
Yeah, I mean, they do have that flexibility. I've called them out as playing it. Obviously, we've seen it also from Tactical on IMT as well. This is another one of those weird quandaries, though, where when you do have a player who's as comfortable with Ziggs as APA, you might just want to keep it in the mid lane, especially with Viego in the jungle. But yeah, that is a no ban coming out from TL, or a missed ban?
They must have missed it.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get confirmation if that is a confirmed no ban from Team Liquid. Whenever that happens, I mean, Jatt, you've been in those situations where there's probably a little bit too much chirping.
I mean, that's just a mistake from Team Liquid. They missed it. So either they were indecisive or decided that it didn't matter.
Yeah.
You never actually know with how easily they won Game 1 if that's just like, we don't need to ban anything. I doubt it, though, with how prepared Team Liquid usually is. So a bit surprising that they just missed a ban.
Yeah, a ban, especially on second phase, will always help. So it almost has to be they were just indecisive. So
yeah.
Well, let's just see what they end up going for pick, Emily.
And Raz, it seems like DIG are also thinking, oh, you might flex that Ziggs bot, because we also see the Azir ban coming out.
They're on to him.
Oh, no.
Both Gnar and Renekton, two things that Impact is super comfortable blinding, I think, depending on what's still available on the other side, as we see Zven hovering over the Jhin.
Yeah, but speaking of Gnar, almost certainly, I mean, sure, last game from Licorice was a bit of a disaster, but you would want to see the Gnar into the Renekton. So it's actually, we're choosing between either of these. Personally, I like the scaling of the Aphelios, but there it is, locking on the Kalista. I mean, you can't come out of that last game and think it's about the draft with how poorly the first 5 minutes of it was played from Dignitas.
Yes, they were completely screwed by the lane swap.
Yes.
And their execution of dealing with the lane swap. So they think that would be an easy fix. Team Liquid's champions are also basically completely different throughout the rest of the team, and they could full 5 run it back if they really wanted to with the Gnar here. Gnar and Renekton's a classic counter pick, but they go with Poppy. This was the show match pick for Licorice. He's already on a 1-game winning streak of top, so he's got to run it back.
It's also, just something, obviously, we did see it in the show match, something he's super comfortable on. Cog coming out. I'm such a Cog enjoyer. I don't think we're going to see it.
It's not going to happen. But I like the hover. I appreciate the hover.
Same.
But, okay, so it is going to be... I appreciate this hover a lot more. So it seems like it's going to be more of a confirmed. There it is, locked in. Varus 80 carry with a Ziggs mid lane. So we're going to see a classic APA Ziggs.
Yeah. And I think, TL are super comfortable with this. Also, Dignitas obviously locking in almost the exact same draft with just the Poppy top. I think with better early game scouting and kind of anticipating that the swap is going to come through, not going for some of those dives on bot, they're relying on their execution to be a lot better.
I'm still going to favor Team Liquid on this one, I think more because of their 7-1 season score than necessarily these team comps, because I do think DIG has a lot of good things going for them. Still a bit too heavy on the physical damage, but they don't have like a Jax that can armor stack as well in this game on the side of Team Liquid. So I like DIG's chances a little bit better in this game too. That's it for us. Casters, take it away.
Thank you. That's me. I'm a caster. I'm back. Jatt's not coming back with us this time, though. He's defected back to the analyst desk team, so he's going to go back there with them. And Kobe is going to join me here in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just now joining us, you missed game number 1, where Team Liquid had an incredible early game, a mid game that was also there, and a really solid late game to close it out pretty swiftly, as Dignitas will look to maybe bounce back here. Kobe, I think step number 1, don't give up solo kills all over the map in the first 4 minutes of the game.
Step number 1, 2, 3, and 4 are for all of them not to die pre-5 minutes at almost the same time, while dying to a tower dive and screwing up their own tower dive and getting solo killed. So that's the whole game plan right here. Other than that, we do have the full salty run back from the DIG side.
Okay.
Gonna get the entire salty. Well, actually, the Licorice small change. So small change here. Actually,
mostly salty.
Yes, mostly salty. I mean, very, very salty, but Licorice actually here, it is kind of a meaningful change. Mini Gnar is really easy to dive. So if there is a lane swap, then Poppy at early levels is much better at dealing with it. Poppy is just way more robust, quite good all around as well. W is going to help out later with Viego, with Leona, with Renekton. So Licorice here, I think, with a good adjustment.
Yeah.
Dignitas not fully going back down the same road. Meanwhile, APA opted for the Ziggs with it not being banned this time around.
Yeah.
So he does get his primary. Well, actually, I would say it's the secondary one trick because he chose Aurelion Sol as his main one trick for our show match that we did. Yeah. So this is the secondary one. Oh, we got a lot of all chat this time around.
Ooh, what do we got? Okay, GLHF, you guys don't type now. I'm just confused. It won't work on us again. How you guys didn't win in 15 minutes. We are learning in real time. That's true, kind of embarrassing. You, okay, I'm not going to read.
Well, they had it on screen, so.
That's, if you read it, you read it. But the important thing is I never said it.
If you know, you know. If you were here, then you know.
Yes.
And we'll never.
You had to be there.
We'll never speak of it again. But everybody here, chat, I see you. This is our secret, okay? Nobody ever repeat that. Nobody say anything.
We were all here in this one glorious moment together. Yeah, and that's what matters.
That's going to be something that we share forever. And Dignitas.
Just a part of us from here on out.
Dignitas and Team Liquid are going to share that first game forever, too. That's going to be looming in their minds here in game number 2, where we do not have the lane swap, and we get to see Zven and Isles with their Kalista Braum here into the TL bottom lane. And of course, as the Observers has taken us up to the top side, Licorice on his signature Poppy pick.
Yes, sir.
If you didn't catch it, by the way, we did a signature pick, you know, basically like your favorite champion that you have the strongest connection to in League of Legends during the break.
Oh,
and
I
Licorice,
saw that. Yeah.
Actually, I was there, and my friend Clayton was also there.
Yeah.
Licorice, of course, chose Poppy, so he is on his basically one trick too. It's not just APA.
I like that. I like that. Poppy into the Renekton, like you already talked about.
Or main trick. I think main trick is a better term than one trick.
Yeah, because if you're a one trick, you only play that character. Like you dodge if it's banned or whatever. But if that's your main trick, it's like, all right, you've got a bag of tricks.
Yeah.
But this is the one that's always on top of the bag conveniently.
Poppy is Licorice's main trick.
Yeah. Easy. Nothing to it. Okay.
Figure that one out. Meanwhile, APA here. Having a fun time on his Ziggs with the first strike, by the way, cashing in some first strike money already. Nice little bump there on the rocket jump from Jensen. APA had the satchel charge there as he was coming in. Round 2, though.
Yeah, Jensen, he's got backup from Spica, so he knows that APA can't turn around and fight it at all. APA is going to get knocked low, but he will be able to drink one of those potions to heal back up a little bit. His Impact has control over the top lane. You would expect this early on. Renekton tends to bully a lot of top laners. And hey, at least this time, Licorice doesn't have to deal with a lane swap, right? At least this time, the bottom laners are staying down there in the bottom lane. Top laners get to have their honorable duel.
Yeah, I mean, Licorice did not give Impact 2 early kills at the beginning of the game.
No.
It was the other 2 on the other side. Well, it's getting worn down. He's probably...
Oh, Licorice with the flash for the wall slam.
Could have been cooler if he had cooldowns back, but...
If he would have got a kill off of that, that would have been totally sick.
Problem is, he now does not have flash. Flash advantage to Renekton with minion wave pushing away from Licorice's side. Luckily from him, the enemy jungler is on bottom side though, so that's actually afforded to Licorice. You know, he has the wards really deep in jungle, so they know UmTi's bottom.
Oh, and Impact immediately flashing in. Ruthless Predator's going to give him the stun. Licorice with a shield, though, and Spica shows up just in time. Impact wants to make it happen, and yes, sir, he does. It's a 1-for-1 trade because Dignitas sent in reinforcements.
I saw it the whole time on the minimap. You know, you see the Ivern coming up, and you're like, is he going to be able to bait them? And I thought that was a little bit too far there at the very beginning, but then the shield got in time. But Giga Chad Impact says, you're not getting away. I don't care if Ivern's here. Yep. I'm diving in. I'm getting my kill at the very least, even if the Dignitas kill was technically assisted, so you get the extra 50%. Here's another look at it from Licorice. Was just able to get the shield himself, and then Spica came in as well, but Impact still finished it off.
So think about it this way, Kobe.
Okay.
It's plus 50% on 300, so it's 450 total. First Blood gives you plus 100, so that's 400 total. Even with the assist, Dignitas only got plus 50 gold, and I think the mental damage of losing anyway Making it even in a 1-for-3 is worth that. Now bottom side, the 2v2. Zven and Isles with control. CoreJJ chunked down below half. Isles still ends up taking a bunch of damage from Yeon on the back end, so it's pretty even once it's all said and done.
Yeah. Also, some of that money went to the Ivern, so, you know, 1 versus 1. Impact is still up, but now he's got jungle.
Oh,
okay, UmTi's here.
UmTi's arrived. Spectral Maul for the stun. Impact ready for the dominance. Nice block. The steadfast presence from Licorice blocks the first cast of the slice, means there's no way to get a second one there on the dice, and the gank doesn't work out.
Yeah, they don't chain their stuns immediately together. Impact with the full rage bar, though, so still a little bit sketchy here. Licorice, it looks like UmTi is going over towards the Void Grubs, though, and gets contacted by Spica.
Okay, well, Impact is ready to rotate down to this, and this situation heavily favors Team Liquid, you would have to think, because of the fact that Licorice is stuck underneath that turret, because of the fact that his health is injured, because of the fact that Impact has all that Fury stacked up and ready to go as APA and Jensen get in a separated 1v1 off to the side of the fight. Jensen gonna get bursted down with a Mega Inferno Bomb, has to try to jump over the wall there with a rocket jump as UmTi gets stunned up. Dignitas looking to fire right back into the Team Liquid jungler, but he's got the protection of the mist. Now Jensen still trying to get away from those mines. Sped up, protected by Spica. Team Liquid pretty low on all accounts. Dignitas telling the same story. So it looks like all that's going to happen here is Dignitas gets a single grub. Team Liquid has to back away. Dig's going to maintain control over the topside river for now.
I mean, that was a bit of a heist for Dig. Spica squeezed in the smite there. They both smited, but there's a tiny bit of HP left, and Spica was able to get it. So they got the Void Grub. Only extra cost as Jensen did end up using his flash to come back from behind the red buff, but Licorice is under fire again. Ultimate.
Whoop. Yeet. There goes the lizard.
And that's a level 5 Viego, so not too scary.
You're not really afraid of that guy. Honestly, you kind of hope he comes after you because it's a pretty easy pickup. But nicely survived again from Licorice, avoiding some of the pressure that UmTi's trying to put here in the top lane.
Yeah. And so last time around, we saw Isles was there on the Braum with the early roam. Since then, CoreJJ has been trying to make something happen, but on his follow, hasn't really been able to get much going.
All right, Void Grubs. Those last two are going to be secured here by UmTi, unless Spica can come in and steal another one. Now, hold on. Spica and Daisy are going to mess with this guy here a little bit. And it looks like, yes, Spica ends up stealing it away. But now, what is the consequence? Spica with a flash.
Daisy!
Now, UmTi having to use the Heartbreaker over the wall to escape, as Daisy is really scary.
Daisy definitely is scary. UmTi escapes and she stares him down. The cupcake's staring him down as he does the Raptors, and now looking to roam up towards top side. But again, Spica here on his smites, his Ivern smites on the Void Grubs, grabbing them too, positioning themselves pretty decently towards getting a couple extra 4 later. Meanwhile, we haven't checked in on the bottom side that much, but being left alone, was basically even farming, very, very close to even farming down there, and supports will finally return back to the bottom side after all their roaming adventures for grubs.
Yeah, they go on a little vacation after that first reset, get to check out what's going on for the rest of the map, and now it's time to go back home and help your AD carries get more control over the lane. UmTi going to grab that second spawn, the blue buff here, as Jensen's just hanging around the area, but it's kind of dangerous to do a whole lot of anything here since nobody's around to try to back him up. Instead, he'll just go back over to the mid lane, keep on farming. Isles missing with the Winter's Bite, and you can see UmTi setting up position down here around the bottom lane. Maybe if they can bait Dig into trying to go for an aggressive trade, they can turn it around with a 3v2 gank as Impact continues shoving the waves up here in topside. Despite the fact that Licorice has done a good job not dying to the pressure provided by UmTi, Licorice is down a significant amount of farm, only at 54 compared to the 75 of Impact. Impact actually 700 gold ahead in the lane.
Impact. He was the story for game number 1. I guess there were a few stories in
There
game
was a
number
lot
1,
of stories.
but he was the
man.
protagonist. Impact was the main character.
He was the A-plot, right? Yeah, it was like an episode of Game of Thrones. There was a couple of random things happening, but there was one main story we were all concerned about.
And honestly, remains true in this game too. Has been the main story yet again, although later on we'll probably have mid laners take over. APA so far with his signature Ziggs picked has gained 137 gold with his first strike in his bits of trades there with Jensen so far, and does also have the CS advantage, though be it fairly small.
And you can see a bit of a gold advantage there for Spica too, but almost all of it is that one kill that he managed to secure up in the top side after Impact's first dive and attempted 1v1 that he wasn't able to get the fair fight on. As CoreJJ trying to control vision here in the bot side river, but Jensen immediately going to clear out that control ward.
Ooh, this is actually a critical point for the game. I like what APA did. As soon as he got enough money for his Ludens, goes back, buys it. He is the only one on the map with a gun.
Okay,
because
that's a pretty important distinction to have.
I was gonna say no single item, but we also had Spica just finishing his first his redemption.
Ivern shops at the thrift store. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, redemptions are way cheaper. You know,
that's a support thrift store.
Exactly,
man.
support thrift store item. APA's got a real item there on the Ziggs, but he's able to rush into it, and then they immediately start up the dragon. You know, they easily can rotate their bottom lane over, and they know that APA here, the Ziggs bomb, just does so much damage. He has his ultimate ready and has his Luden's procs ready.
Yeah, if you have the Luden's Companion, you hit him with the sweet spot on the Mega Inferno Bomb with all 6 stacks isolated, it's like goodbye to half your health bar.
And guess what? Their team makes it very easy to hit that bomb.
And they're immediately going to go exactly for that. Half his HP gone to the bomb, and the rest dies to Team Liquid's onslaught. They pick up a free kill there as Spica cannot escape.
And it's just beautiful. Even though this is probably like the first thing that you teach people in League of Legends, maybe not the first, but one of the early ones is
right-click to move.
Yeah, fight on your power spikes. They got their item, first item, teleport back, and then force some plays. They got Dragon, and then they got their kill.
Nicely done from TL. Up about 1,000 gold here so far as APA just keeps putting the pressure on the mid lane. It's UmTi back in the grub pit. Remember the first time that he tried to do this?
At home.
It was Dignitas who ended up getting the better of it, with Spica coming in to steal away 2 of those grubs on separate occasions. But it looks like Team Liquid should be able to acquire that 4 spot this time, which importantly gives them the Void Might spawns.
Yeah, Team Liquid pretty happy about those changes to Void grubs, where they can at least still get their single Void Might spawn buff. So as many of them as Spica was able to steal away, not quite enough to fully deny there. And a lot of it, of course, is afforded by your top laner being ahead. You see Impact coming down, lending his presence to make sure they get that deeper ward. And Spica with the annoying recall stop here, plus the Daisy pop on APA.
It might even be more than an annoying stop. Daisy going in to tank the turret. Daisy will die for that, but hey, it doesn't matter. They force the flash into APA. Back up in the top side, Impact continuing to scrap with Licorice here. Does have the Phage in the call fields, but no fully completed item means he won't be able to bully the Poppy as much as he would want to.
I really respect the timing on his auto attack. Even though it's such a small thing, didn't mean anything. As UmTi is able to avoid the stun lock under tower. Impact waited just until that shield falls off for Licorice and gets his auto attack in there as he's just like walking side by side right next to him for the small amount of distance. But so those small things, when you squeeze in just a tiny little bit more, you can try and wear down that Poppy.
Those are the kinds of small things that can have you win a world championship over 10 years ago and still be at the top of the league all that time later, you know?
Or win the previous game by an overwhelming landslide.
Yeah, all of these things, somehow they just mix together in the same bucket, my friend. And right now, Team Liquid still enjoying that 1,000 gold. You got the Rift Herald spawning in under 10 seconds. It's not even remotely synced up with the Drake timer, so if either one of these teams is even remotely interested, I expect to see a bit of a scrap over this Herald.
All right, I'm always down to look for an interesting little scrap. This time around, TL, the gold lead is not nearly as far ahead.
No.
But again, if we look at the items, the Kraken Slayer plus the Black Cleaver have joined the side of the Ludens on Team Liquid's side here. So their top side of the map have these offensive items completed. And the other side of the map just only has support items completed for Isles and for Spica there. So Team Liquid feeling quite good about their setup here. Brush Camp for UmTi is sussed out by Spica. And with Isles by his side, Dignitas will clear out these control wards.
I mean, if you think about it, at this point in the game, in game number 1, TL was 5,000 gold ahead. So for Dignitas, this is significantly better. About 4 times as bad as... 4 times as much better, 4 times better, whatever. It's 4 times better than what it was in game number 1 as TL still just making sure they've got enough guys around this area to challenge Dignitas if they want to go for this Herald. Licorice does have his teleport ready to use, so if he needs to go back to base, finish the completed Sunfire Cape, and then return, he could do just that. Going to trade aggressively with Impact in the meantime, but the problem is Licorice might not be able to get away. UmTi's coming in, APA tosses out a bomb. Licorice still continuing to retreat for now. Ooh, Mega Inferno bomb for practically nothing there. So APA's ulti getting almost no value. Dignitas might still try to look to make something happen as Isles drops the Glacial Fissure onto CoreJJ, and it's Dignitas bringing more to the party more quickly. They're going to try to burst down this enemy support, but he's a Leona. He's very tanky. CoreJJ getting away. The bait is complete, and Impact jumps into the middle. A nice Keeper's Verdict knocks him right back out as UmTi and Yeon go back over the wall. Dignitas still trying to get themselves back out of here without any tragedies, because in the bottom lane, Jensen's putting moves in the tier 1 turret.
Exactly, the whole point there. 4v5, Dignitas forcing some flashes as they engage on Team Liquid, all while Jensen is able to get solo gold on that outer tower on the bottom half. They hold on to his TP. He does not join the little skirmish here. And so now we have to look forward at the next play.
Okay.
Biggest thing wasn't even what we just saw on screen, even though it was very nice getting solo gold on Tristana to complete a Kraken Slayer plus a Zeal now in the hands of Jensen. But now they have double teleport advantage over Team Liquid. Let's see what Dig can cook with that.
That's always one of the things I try to keep my eyes on, especially for a team like Dig where they're in the middle of the pack and you're trying to see, well, how good actually are they? What kind of a macro lead can you get with a 2-0 TP advantage? I feel like, Kobe, this should always be at least a turret by the time Team Liquid's teleports come back up.
Well, they're sending Jensen again up to the top side to try and get that turret. We'll see how much work that Tristana can get done up there, because Dragon is available, and it'll be the objective that TL try and use to draw Dignitas to try and avoid Tristana getting this turret. I wonder if Dig will just opt for the turret money for Tristana anyways and just get more money onto Jensen and say, you know what, a single Dragon, not really worth.
Impact full sending it here with the Dominus Mega Inferno Bomb coming to back him up, but it misses. Licorice getting away. UmTi trying to complete the kill down here with the bottom lane. But that's the Poppy main trick, baby. He slams him back into the wall, but APA swoops in to make it an even trade.
And he goes down in the aftermath, but still with the signature pick play there. Another nice wall bang from Licorice. Got the angle onto UmTi. Kills him under tower, and Jensen is farming up a storm, Flowers. They did buy the time for him to get the top turret, plus shove that wave, and then teleport down to bottom side to keep on farming. Jensen is just going to town on these minions and these towers.
The game state feels so good for Dignitas right now after how rough game number 1 was. Team Liquid is up just such a marginal amount of gold, it doesn't really mean that much. And Dignitas is about to get the second Drake of the game, tying that count up as well. We're 18 minutes in, and we're on a knife's edge with how close this is.
This is what you want to see from a run back draft for Dignitas. Like, this is so much better, setting themselves up to actually win the fights. So Licorice is able to walk around, get the angle towards the wall, but then, of course, next to the Herald there, APA is able to chuck the bomb over the wall. He ends up finishing off that kill. Still though, Licorice getting the one for one down there. And again, they did get that tower. Team Liquid, though, in the counter push, they answer back. They get that outer tower, and mid and bottom outer tower is also very low. Probably should fall fairly shortly for them.
Okay, so those outer towers just about done. The mid lane tier 1 for TL still standing strong, but it's about the only thing. I think we might see a bit of a lull state here pretty soon since we don't have the Dragon spawning for another 4 minutes. Neither one of these teams is far enough ahead to try to hard force a Baron or anything like that. Still a minute away on that. But hold on, maybe I'm a liar. Maybe Dignitas and Jensen want to find even more. Jensen flashing forward to stay in range of UmTi so he can't get away with a camouflage, and Jensen is grabbing another kill. Now on CoreJJ, he gets back into the base. Safe enough for now. Jensen is playing this Tristana aggressively.
I don't know about you, but I'm not super sold on UmTi Viego.
No.
I think that the coach interview we had before this game and all the focus on the Sejuani Maokai play that Team Liquid had been doing was correctly placed. And I think Dignitas here in this game feel pretty confident as far as their team fight is shaping up. Again, this is even more difficult to team fight into because they added the Poppy on top of the Braum Ivern that they had last time around that we were highlighting. So things actually looking quite good for the prospects of us actually getting a 3-game series, Flowers, which is not something you would have said after watching game number 1 or in the middle of watching game number 1.
It's not even something that the Dignitas players said coming into the series this week, right? Like, they're saying scheduled loss, we heard from Zven, but hey, they're playing so much better in game number 2.
We are also now only 1 kill away from Jensen passing double lift on the all-time kills ladder here. If he can grab
3, right?
Exactly.
All-time.
If he can get 1 more kill, because he was 2 down before, got 1 already.
Well, hey man, he's got 2 completed items with the Navori and the Kraken Slayer. He's got the BF sword working towards that Infinity Edge. I say it'll be pretty difficult to not have that Tristana get another kill this game.
Is it worth doing a chat poll? Do we want to see like 100% of chat say yes?
I think we got to save the chat poll for something closer
I
to
think
that.
we
There's
do.
Like no way.
Put it up.
There's like no way. Hold on. We got a
up.
TP coming in. We got some action about to go down. UmTi stunning up the Braum, but Isles isn't really a priority target up here. Spica and Jensen trying to fire back. UmTi's Viego having to flash away just to stay alive, and now Impact might end up paying the price. The Croc's in the middle of everybody, but a nice Mega Inferno Bomb over the top, looking to try to keep him alive for an extra second longer. Isles still here frontlining. Zven grabs the first kill, and the first kill's on Impact. Dignitas looking to find even more now as Zven's ready to go in, throw in the Braum bowling ball. They find the lockup, the lockdown on APA. One more auto attack's gonna get him stunned, but it ain't gonna work. UmTi still over the wall as Licorice jumps in and brings down the hammer. It's a shutdown over to Isles. Merry Christmas, APA. Dignitas 3 for nothing. Jensen passes double F for 3rd career kills all time.
I told you we had to get that poll up quick. I don't think we got it up in time. I gotta be honest, that would have to been lightning speed to get it up there. And then Isles also steals the shutdown there with the fadeaway Braum Q.
All right, now, Kobe, you were talking about you don't know about the UmTi Viego.
Yeah.
You know how whenever a player's popping off, we say we want to buy some stocks?
Oh.
I'm here to short some UmTi Viego stocks right now, brother. I do not think that this is the pick for Team Liquid or for this player. UmTi's Viego seems to really be struggling in a lot of these bigger fights. He almost gets caught. He almost gets popped. Impact has to come in and save the day. But just like in a movie, man, the dramatic sacrifice to save his friend, and that just makes the fight unwinnable for TL.
And I just feel like Ivern scales so well for team fights and just makes it so hard for any melee carries to play into a Dignitas comp here. Not to mention, of course, the Braum and the Poppy that has the massive front line there. But you can see how much work Spica does with the shields and the redemption healing, the AoE healing offsetting a lot of the AoE damage from the Ziggs, reducing like the big, scary parts of the TL comp.
Oh, Yeon flashing out of the way of the Glacial Fissure, but now it's CoreJJ on the front line, nearly killed. First kill going to go over onto Isles instead as both supports are traded back and forth. UmTi grabbing the body there from the Braum, looking to lock up Jensen as he jumps back over the wall before they get the stun from the Winter's Bite concussive blows. Zven still kiting it out. UmTi down to 300 HP. Yeon trying to chase as Spica is the first one in his sights. Impact can't close the gap on Jensen because the Tristana is way too strong. Licorice has made the teleport into the fight now, finds a nice tackle onto Yeon, and the Varus is gone. Zven goes on a killing spree, and Dignitas is going to town, straight down the mid lane.
Licorice Poppy, the signature pick, comes in for the flank at the end, flashes to get the carry. They get another tower down here, plus they're going to get another dragon. You can see the Kalista taking that one already while they continue to push with this Baron buff.
UmTi thinking better of casting that Spectral Maw towards Licorice and Jensen. Dignitas up 4,000 gold. Dignitas grabbing the 3rd Drake of the game. Their 2nd one, taking down that mid lane tier 1 at the same time. A totally different look from game 1. Dignitas is coming to life here in the 2nd game of this series.
The mega team fight comps with the double AD carries here paying off. If you don't completely in control the beginning of the game.
Wow, you don't say.
Then it goes a lot better.
Let me take a note of this. Don't int early. All right. We're in there. We got this. 4,000 gold lead, 2 Drakes, 8 kills to 4, 30 seconds. Hold on. Let's take another look at this replay here.
Okay, so this was the chase. I kind of noticed, I thought it was a little funny where Jensen was pushing the top wave and Zven's like flashing forward with the Braum and they go collect the extra ones, but in the end, Jensen still is able to get the last hit and gets the kill on there. So Jensen got to farm the wave and got to still get the last hit on the kill. Isles also having a lot of fun there. Stealing away that shutdown. It was right in front of Licorice's face too. He was about to finish it off. But nice little yoink right there. Nice tanky Braum here.
And now Team Liquid is being forced back out of their own red side jungle. This is the same thing that happened to Dignitas back in the first game. We saw Team Liquid running the same kind of plays, and now with this Tristana, whenever this champion gets fed, man, it's just such a nightmare to defend against because of the wrecking ball power against the turrets.
Oh, it's so fun. Quick Blades is my favorite item that has gotten like a recent change. Quick Blades is just so fun. Tristana, of course, is a really good user. There's a lot of melee champions that are actually like Shyvana and Volibear, both really good users, but the Quick Blades just makes Tristana feel so fun. And when you get your 3 item power spike, you're tanky with your Bloodthirster, plus you have a lot of damage. And then once he gets Infinity Edge on top of that, then it goes Omega.
And I'm glad you bring that up, because game number 1, we saw him go for the Infinity Edge because he had to try to maximize his damage for any chance of a comeback. This time around, he knows they're in the lead. He knows that there's a lot of poke on the enemy team at the same time, though, with the Varus and the Ziggs. So Bloodthirster third instead to guarantee that he can't be poked down, guarantee that Team Liquid doesn't have that easy way to try to stop the push from Dignitas. They're still up 4,500 gold. They still need to keep pushing the game forward so that it doesn't stall out to the point where Team Liquid can catch up.
All right, Jensen, most farm in the game with his side lane pushing, constantly getting these waves, got a lot of solo tower gold as well. Even though in the beginning the game was down. Here we go, Braum jumped on, but...
Yeah. Isles takes so much damage, though. Every time a team catches Braum, you always got to wonder if they'll actually get him. APA has the firepower, though. That artillery shot going to guarantee that they get it with a Mega Inferno Bomb.
Yeah, they had 4 people ready, so it's just full DPS dump into the Braum, even with the Unbreakable. They actually break it.
Yeah.
So I don't know about the false advertising on that one, Flowers.
Yeah, it's there's a little asterisk at the bottom.
Sometimes breakable.
Yeah. Super small print at the bottom that the lawyer reads off at the end of the commercial.
If you have 4 people with unchecked DPS on you for a good 4 or 5 seconds, then technically breakable.
Then maybe it'll be breakable. Exactly.
And they still had to wait for it to finish before they finally killed him.
The important part is they got it. It tries to slow down the Dignitas push a little bit, but you can see at the scoreboard right now, all those numbers in between the champs are blue. Everybody on Dig is ahead. Some of them are a lot closer than others. Top and jungle are pretty even, but the most important part in my mind is the fact that in both of the carry roles, those are the largest leads. That's where Dignitas has their advantage, and those carries need to be that far ahead because, again, the only real damage threats are double AD carries. If the opponents start to itemize armor, as you can see right now, Impact has the Warden's Mail probably going for the Randuin's third, just like last game. You can get into a bit of a rough spot.
I want to know what the comms on Dignitas were just 1 minute ago when we saw Jensen and Zven emoting each other. There were no TL members on screen, and Zven threw up his Pepega Frog, and Jensen threw up his classic WTF, I think it's Soraka.
Oh, yeah.
Is the emote to each other. And those are the two AD carries here on Dignitas. So they're having
something's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, something suspicious here. The conversation between the Dignitas carries.
Somebody bought a weird item.
I need to know the secrets. I need to know the inside story. Somebody investigate.
All right, yeah. If we
look at Sven's face right now.
Yeah.
He was really considering something strange.
All right, we'll see. There's got to be something sinister going on behind the stage.
They're going to go check the comms and be like, we can't show those on broadcast.
Yeah, we kind of
we'll keep those in
comms earlier, but yeah, we'll keep it a secret for now. If we find out anything, we'll make sure we let you guys know ASAP. We've also got that next Drake spawning ASAP. 2 seconds, 1 second. All right, it's up on the map. Baron is also here. Let's see how we split attention on these. You can see a bunch of pings coming out from Team Liquid in the top half of the map as Dignitas immediately rushes towards the Drake.
Yeah, it's so easy to play out Dignitas's comp. Yeah, since they're also ahead at the moment, you just always group up for each objective as it spawns. Make sure you check the Baron, though, so TL don't get any like sneaky burst on the Baron. They're actually trying to pick.
Yeah, they want to go for the pick on CoreJJ. They missed the knock up there with the Glacial Fissure, but they're still following it up with plenty of damage. CoreJJ about to die. Barely getting away with 200 HP here at the very start as Impact teleports in. Core finally dies to Licorice, who hits him with the buckler toss from the Poppy passive. Bonk. That means the enemy support is down. That means this is 5v4 for the next 30 seconds. Leona doesn't pack a TP either, Kobe. Even when this guy respawns, he's going to have to hoof it all the way down here. And Dignitas is starting up the Baron.
Yep. Dignitas playing correctly here. Full group up on the Dragon. Then they rotate over. They catch someone looking for Baron. TL got to throw the Hail Mary. They've got a Varus. Varus Arrow versus Baron for the steal, but they can't even get there.
Licorice tackling in the middle of everybody as Yeon has to try to kite it back. APA in trouble, and Jensen goes on a killing spree. Impact tries to slice and dice his way away, but it ain't gonna look too great. Even with the Sterix, it's not enough. A double kill back over to Jensen. 4-0-4 the score. Renekton not found. Dignitas 5,500 gold ahead, and that Baron's about to make it even more.
Thank you very much. Good turn there from Dignitas. They don't even think about burning through that Baron. There's no way you want to give any sliver of a chance for Team Liquid to come back into this game, because you need this win. You need this win also to be emphatic, because Dignitas here...
That's a good one. That's a $10 win. Emphatic. I like it.
Dignitas here coming into the season, we're so triumphant. They're like, this is Dig season. This is Dignitas Summer. You know, we're going to be the team with all these veterans that is going to scale into the year. And so coming back from the break, they really need to have a strong showing here. And pushing it to game number 3 is going to get them there. The chase down is just so easy at this point because they're so far ahead with such a good team fighting comp. Yeah. You know, they can just chase them down. Braum, easy lockdown here, so they're able to get these kills. Their carries are sufficiently fed. They even have the QSS there on the Kalista. So even if they look for the stun locks, Zven should be okay. He's got QSS. His cleanse is on cooldown now, but he's got the QSS and flash to work with. And Jensen, of course, is already the level 18, so has the mega range.
They're really going in here for the Poppy down in the bottom lane. Yeon with a good job catching him with Chains of Corruption. Redemption trying to keep Licorice healthy enough. He flashes away. Steadfast Presence blocks the follow-up on the Zenith Blade. Licorice still getting away for now, but UmTi's ready to intercept Spica. Another teleport coming in from Dig as Licorice and Spica try to get away off to the side. But UmTi, again, this Viego is caught, and Jensen is ready to keep it going. Yeon, the double kill back over to Jensen. Make it a triple. Spica's gonna steal it away instead as Impact and APA try to run, but Dignitas is not about to let them do it. APA gonna grab a shutdown on Zven, but it ain't gonna matter. Jensen's the main character, and y'all are just stuck in a cutscene. Dignitas gets the ace for 1, and they're gonna take it straight to the Nexus.
Dignitas gonna push us to a game number 3 here versus Team Liquid, the undisputed best team in the LCS, the #1 team. Dignitas season, they're coming for you.
Dignitas ran it back, and they look good doing it, ladies and gentlemen. 32 minutes in, 16-6. Dignitas is taking us to a 3rd game.
Jensen shrugging off those Tristana nerfs. Saul smiles this game. 0 deaths for him, goes legendary, 8 kills.
It was an awesome Tristana performance from him. Also, Spica on this Ivern, man, he's just looking good with it. Yeah. Right? Feeling good, looking good, playing good. Sounds good to me. Now, it's time for us to go ahead and break down this week's Pagoda moment. Jensen passing Doublelift for 3rd most kills in LCS history. It was this top lane river fight. Impact had to die first, and well, after that, Dignitas just said go.
Yeah, let's see. The bomb, Zven actually got that one, so that was what I'm talking about. Jensen goes and clears the wave, and then he comes in. Zven's like, don't worry, I'll flash forward with the Braum here so we can chase down some extra kills. And there it is. Gets the last hit on the CoreJJ. Thank you very much. By this point, too, Dignitas are just so massively ahead. Then they can group up on those objectives and force Team Liquid to come to them and continue cleaning up. So what a game for him to do it. Legendary there for Jensen.
And with Game 2 wrapped up, a reminder to all y'all, there are only 18 LCS Tibbers left in stock online. But if you can't snag one of those, we'll have more available for purchase in person at both the LCS Arena and Summer Finals. And speaking of finals, tickets are officially on sale for the LCS Championship at the YouTube Theater in Los Angeles. Head on over to riot.com/LCS Championship to claim your spot. Game 3 is coming up next. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Little bit watch me. Hey, little bit watch me. Ivern the flash. Braum first. Ivern. Okay. Ivern the flash. It's okay. Watch this guy too. Watch this guy too. No flash. I'm going back for lane. Yeah. Tristana TP. I'm gonna take a aggressive pass. Can someone cover? I'm gonna cover you. I want a base. Oh wait, this guy's going out.